My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you our bets for UFC 290, but before I do, I want to give you $50. We pay out thousands of dollars a week, and the only thing you need to do to get that $50 is go to WeWantPicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of our betting partners using our link, and we send you $50 as a thank you. It's affiliate marketing. They're going to pay us. I break off a piece of that and I give it right back to you. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use our links, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. Last week was a wild week. Some bets hit, some bets missed, but our community did really well. Premium members at WeWantPicks.com. So these are premium members only, are up $14,765. These are people that went out of their way to tweet us, to DM us, to tag us in Discord and say, look how much I won. Here's my ticket. Thanks, We Want Picks. And it's absolutely awesome to see that. I have said this once and I will say it a million times. We have the sharpest community in this space. Join the Discord. Discord is 100% free. Pick their brains and everybody work together to try to make some money. You should also become a premium member. It is not an accident that our premium members are winning this much money and then going out of their way to say, what would I do without you? $1,000 hit, $2,200 hit. Thank you, Big Papa. That's me. I'm Big Papa. WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 to become a premium member. And you're going to get all sorts of bets, picks, tools, insight, information. You're going to get the line movement tracker. This gives you the opening odds, the current win probability, and the line movement for every single fighter on the card. I've highlighted Bo Nickel here. Dude opened at a minus 2,000 with Val Woodburn and ballooned up to minus 2,500 already. We'll talk about that in a minute. I actually think that's kind of absurd. But all of this and so much more that I can't even get through in this video is available for only $10 a month. It is by far the greatest value in this space. Nothing even compares. WeWantPicks.com. Just click become a member at the top. Before I jump into the bets, let's talk about some of my confident leans for favorites and then some solid underdogs. I have reasonable in quotes here because I'm not going to put Bo Nickel on. What the hell are you going to do with a minus 2,500 favorite? So he's not on here. Same with Jack Della Maddalena. What are you going to do with a dude with that kind of line? 1,100, 1,200, whatever it is. There's not much money to be made with a line like that. So these favorites are favorites that I still think are affordable, can be parlayed, and you can be pretty confident in. I did leave Volkanovski off of this list, but he's probably in that as well. I love Esteban Ribovics. You're going to see a bet I have on him with a minute. His line is tightening, which is blowing my mind. I think there's a big skill gap there. I think his opponent is gun-shy, is hesitant, and Esteban Ribovics is going to take advantage of that. Robert Whittaker, minus 400. There are levels to this game. Robert Whittaker is top 3 greatest middleweights that have ever walked the face of this earth. And Dricus du Plessis barely beat a 40-year-old wrestler. I mean, it's insane. Robert Whittaker is going to dominate that fight. Minus 400. I think that's safe money. And then you got Jalen Turner at minus 260. I think he smokes Dan Hooker. I think he's the better striker. At least he's more accurate, has better range. He's certainly the better grappler. We've seen him suck up submissions whenever he wants to. I think he's going to hit harder. He's longer. He's going to have the better everything, I think. Right? Obviously, Dan Hooker's the type of guy who's been around for a while. He continues to evolve. He's fought at a high level. His losses are pretty quality losses. But I think Jalen Turner should be a much bigger favorite than that. So minus 260 seems good to me. Underdogs. Tricky week for underdogs. It's a very chalk-heavy kind of card. But I like Alonzo Menafield at plus 102 as an underdog. This is a rematch. And he would have won the rematch if a point wasn't deducted when he grabbed the fence. Without that point deduction, he wins 30-27. That's how he wins that. Or sorry, 29-28. That's how he wins that fight. He knocked Jimmy Crute down twice at least, almost had him out of there, even more than that. It was absolutely even more than that. It's a weird way to word that, but there were many times in that fight where Alonzo Menafield almost had Jimmy Crute sleeping on that floor. And the fact that he's an underdog right now seems pretty solid to me. I personally did not bet it. I don't think it's a good fight to bet on. I do have a bet on that fight, but not straight money line. We'll talk about that in a minute. But as far as picking an underdog is concerned, I think he's one of the better underdogs. How could he not be? They just fought. It just went to a decision. He had that guy almost knocked out cold on more than one occasion. Alexandre Pantoja, he beat Brandon Moreno twice. There are levels to this. I think Brandon Moreno has reached that next level. He's evolved, I think, at a faster pace than Pantoja has, but I think Pantoja is one of the more live underdogs for sure on this card. And then Robbie Lawler. How could Robbie Lawler be a plus 220 underdog against a kid who fights exactly like him but hasn't accomplished nearly as much? I get it. He's old. And he could, we just saw him get knocked out, but he did the right thing. He took off a good amount of time. And we just watched Nico Price get knocked out too. It's not as if Nico Price is this granite chin up-and-comer and Robbie Lawler is old, tired, and used up. I mean, Robbie Lawler's a solid underdog here. It's a 50-50 fight. I know you people love finding 50-50 fights and then betting on a side. The reality is, Robbie Lawler, the guy's a king, will remain a king after this fight. He hits like a freight train. His opponent is pretty chinny. Let's take a look at my actual bets. So, I mentioned I got Esteban Ribovics. I got minus at 200. That is not a good line. Not a good line. Minus 200. It is now minus 150. You're going to get an even bigger discount. But for all the reasons I mentioned, he's a great striker. Solid grappling. His opponent is gun-shy, hesitant, doesn't let his hands go, hasn't fought in a year and a half or whatever it is. So I'm liking Esteban Ribovics here. And if that line tightens even more than the minus 150, I'll put additional money on that. Edgar Chairez. Then I got two long shot underdogs here. Let me explain. Edgar Chairez, this is the short notice guy fighting Tatsuro Taira. But let's not forget, Tatsuro Taira is also fighting on short notice. This dude made weight, was supposed to fight. That fight dropped. And then he was all the emotional am I rebooked? Am I not rebooked? Am I going to get paid? Are you going to pay me? When am I fighting? Do I have to travel there? Like, the shuffling has been crazy for him. So even though technically Tatsuro Taira has been in a camp and his body has gone through the highs and lows of cutting weight more than one time these last few weeks. That's never good. Tatsuro Taira is a very good grappler. He's going to look to come forward, get the takedown, and work from there. Edgar Chairez can strike. He's pretty slick on his feet, right? He'll throw wild kicks. He'll come forward, pretty accurate with his strikes. He is very hittable, but luckily for us, Tatsuro Taira isn't a big knockout guy. But the grappling, I don't think Tatsuro is going to have as huge of advantage as people think. If you remember that viral video of that guy that was in the triangle choke, unconscious, and the referee was just looking at him like watching cement dry, and then he transitioned to an armbar and like broke that dude's arm clean in half, and the kid woke up while his arm was breaking in half, and the ref's just sitting there. That was Edgar Chairez. He did that. He broke that dude's arm, choked him out. He did all the things in that fight. He's very skilled on the ground. So, listen, I put a quarter of a unit on it. That's $25 for me. I put $25 on it at plus 600. I think that fight is dumb close, not what a lot of other people think. And then we got Val Woodburn. This is the guy who stepped up on 2 days' notice, whatever it is, to fight Bo Nickel. He's not a bum. This dude is way better than Tresean Gore is. It's not even close. He's way better than Tresean Gore. So, does Bo Nickel win this fight? Yeah. Bo Nickel should win this fight. But look at these odds. I did this in dollar amounts instead of units. I put $20 on the guy. I will win 240. The reality is he hits like a freight train. And a wild, panicky striker is the exact type of person that can catch Bo Nickel on their way in. Again, does this mean I think Val Woodburn wins this fight? No. Does this mean these odds are freaking absurd? And hey, it's $20. Let's see what happens. Yes, that's what that means. If Bo Nickel comes charging in a little fast and loose and catches a big right, boom. We haven't seen him get hit that hard yet. Bo Nickel wins this fight. Don't conflate this into something it is not. But $20 to win 240, I'm going to be at UFC 290. If you see me there, I'll buy you a drink. But I'm going to be at UFC 290. I'll love if this cashes. Fuck it. I'm there. Let it ride. Then I got a couple of props. I have the Yarui Gomes under 2.5 rounds, plus 131. Plus money on that. I'm actually surprised it's plus money because the reality is both of these women can finish. Gomes is definitely a finisher. Gargui is definitely a finisher. I think they're going to come in hot. Gargui was just dropped in her last fight. Gomes has knockout power, and Gargui is knocking people out left and right. So I think this is a great female, doesn't go to a decision spot for sure, through a quarter of a unit on that. And then I got Alonzo Menafield, wins inside the distance, decision, no action. What this means is if Alonzo Menafield wins this fight by stoppage, which he almost did twice last time they fought, I'll get paid. If he loses a decision or it goes to a draw or anything like that, I get a full refund. It's like the bet never happened. I do not see, the only way I lose money is if Jimmy Crute stops Alonzo Menifield, and I just do not see that happening. Frankly, I should have put more money on this. Quarter of a unit was not enough for a safety bet like this. Then this tiny font, I've got a couple of parlays going here. The reason the font is a tiny mess is because things have changed since I placed them. The very first parlay I put up about a week ago, it was almost even money. It was Alexander Volkanovski and Jack Della Maddalena. Well, Jack's original opponent dropped. So now it's basically just a Volkanovski money line bet. So it's not minus 111. Those odds have adjusted. Then I have a quarter of a unit round prop parlay. Well, I had Bo Nickel and Tresean Gore under 1.5. That fight has dropped. His new opponent, the under 1.5 on that is about the same. So you can build this exact parlay, but instead of it being Gore, it can be Val. And that's plus money if you match it with Hooker Turner over 1.5 rounds. We know how tough Dan Hooker is. We know Jalen Turner, yes, he's a finisher. He does finish people, but he can be a patient striker, take his time as well. He's fighting another striker here, so he may do exactly that. So I think over 1.5 is pretty okay for that. So I like that parlay, quarter of a unit there. And then I did a heavy chalk parlay. You're going to see Bo Nickel's name. Again, this was against Tresean Gore when he was minus 1,100. It's not really a parlayable number. The caveat I have here is I'm going to be there at the fights. So F it. I'm throw $50 on a parlay that absolutely should hit. It should hit. A couple of red flags in there, but it should hit. It should be some fun. Pays out 3-1. I'll do it. So that's what that parlay is. The odds again are adjusted because Bo Nickel has a new opponent. So it has changed. Jack Della in there. That is with his new opponent. So that's square. Those are the parlays I had. And it always sucks with these late drops. And I'm glad they were able to keep Jack on the card. And I'm glad they were able to keep Bo Nickel on the card. But anytime you have your bets already in the bag, they start to adjust those odds, which gets a little annoying because would I have done an Alexander Volkanovski money line by itself? No. But now I have because Jack Della Maddalena dropped. Let's take a look at Jakey Boy. He's got 15 total units already. I am filming this late on Wednesday, which means we don't even have all the props yet. BetOnline hasn't dropped any props at all for the new Bo Nickel fight. They don't drop the takedown or significant strike props or the same game parlays until Friday. So come Friday, there's going to be a lot more money than what you see here and what you see there. But here's a little sample. If you want the rest of Jacob's bets, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10. You unlock the world. Anyway, he has Brandon Moreno money line, 1.5 units there. Alonzo Menifield. Jacob is unbelievably sure that Alonzo Menifield wins this fight. He has little over 1 unit on that. And then he has Yair Rodriguez wins inside the distance decision, no action at plus 240. I personally think that's a phenomenal bet, and I should probably tail it because the reality is Alexander Volkanovski is not a finisher. He's not going to finish Yair Rodriguez. Does he take him down, ride him out, beat him up, out-technique him? That's what I think happens. But Yair Rodriguez is the most dangerous opponent that Alexander Volkanovski has ever fought, and there is a world where Yair Rodriguez wins this fight by finish, and if it does, Jacob will get plus 240 on that money. Again, you want to unlock all of his bets. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. You're going to get far more than just my bets, Jacob's bets. You're going to get Artem's as well. Artem is giving you bets for PFL, LFA, all the regional shows, and the Pick Doctor. If you don't know, you're new here, the Pick Doctor is beta. It's beta. But it is an AI. We have built an AI, and it's picking fights. It's not making bets yet, but it is picking fights. We tracked it for a few weeks, then we released it publicly. When we released it publicly at UFC Jacksonville, it went 11-1 on picks. It was absolutely insane. Last week, bit of a nosedive, bit of a healthy correction there. This week, the picks seem far more reasonable, but follow that journey. That's really there as a journey. Follow it to, keep up with what's happening, the development of that AI, and let's basically watch the future unfold before our eyes. And as always, I will send you $50. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. I will send you that $50 as a thank you.